Okay, so that video was hard. That was really hard, but I'm glad that I just got it out, because now I feel like I can be a little bit more transparent about like where I'm at now without feeling like I haven't disclosed how painful it has been, because I am now stepping into a new side of grief where it's not so painful and I don't want to feel, I want to enjoy it, but I want to be transparent about it as well. And life is just a lot more complicated now. So, which brings me to my next little phase of life. What I'm about to say is crazy. People have called me crazy before, but now I do feel a little crazy, but I'm gonna kind of take you along with me as I share. So I'm packing up all of my stuff. Well, I'm selling all my stuff and living on the road, visiting family for the next few months before I go back to India. So I'm basically selling everything I own so that I can go spend my time and energy on things that really matter, which is my family and my loved ones. And that's kind of why I had to tell the story first, because I wouldn't be able to do this crazy thing if I didn't go through this wild experience of losing my son. But you know, now I'm starting to try to appreciate the things that it's taught me, and this is one of them. As scary as heck as it is, I'm starting to want to embrace it. It's definitely, this is going to test me beyond what I think that I even really realize, but I have kind of started the process. So this is my little, not little, my piles. And I've like started to kind of strip things down. I don't want to like completely take apart. Okay. My name is Micheline, and I do have a hoarding problem. And it's plants. Mind you, I'm moving, so I like put them all together, but yeah, I do admit maybe I have a few too many plants. But in the process of rehoming all of these, and that's kind of another sad part, is that my new adventures are going to require me to find maybe a new home for my little guys, which is super sad because I love them so much. This is what I'm saying. Like, this move is, it's like, I know it's exactly where I'm meant to be right now, and this is what I'm meant to be doing, but it is testing me beyond like every level. How I got through my grief was kind of like hunkering down and creating a little bubble, and now I'm feeling called or pushed to live. You know I needed time to kind of cocoon away, but now I feel like I am ready to like spread my wings in a way, and it feels good, but it is not easy, and I know it's not going to be easy. I feel like it would be almost a waste for me to not use this. I don't like saying it as a second chance, but it's like I'm getting life with a new lens, because I did the normal thing by having a kid and trying to settle down, and then it all fell apart, and now I'm 31 with no physical children, and a new mindset that none of this stuff here means anything to me, and I want to be there for my loved ones. So it's gonna be a crazy ride. I definitely am anxious and nervous for what this is going to entail and how it's going to go, but first thing is first is packing up this entire place. I realized I missed a little piece here. So basically, a quick little backstory is that it's been almost 3 years since my son passed, and about a year ago I went to India, and I just had such a healing experience over there, and I knew I wanted to go back, but I didn't really know how it was going to work out. And then I just started feeling called that I want to go back now. And so rather than re-signing a lease, I was like, well, I'll just go on the road and spend time with family before I go to India, because I don't know what life is going to hold for me afterwards. So that's why. Okay, the pile's still there, but it's at least sorted and organized, and everything is listed. So hopefully I'll get rid of that, and then this is my next project because all of my little plant babies have to find a new home. So it's my next project. So today's Wednesday, and I am still working on my little pile back there. I definitely have made some progress, but I'm definitely feeling overwhelmed. I'm for sure trying to not go into like the freeze mode because of just like the overwhelming feeling of making so many changes and anticipating so much change is definitely, it's rough on my nervous system, and I'm feeling it. I'm mentally kind of going through different phases of acknowledging this and how it's affecting me. I think it's not funny, but it's almost like comical to think about the fact that like grief is such a common experience, but people just don't really think about it as grief. But after I lost my son, I definitely like was abruptly awoken to how much grief we all endure on a daily basis, but we just like don't really ever acknowledge like the fact that these feelings that are coming up of like selling all my belongings and moving and losing like my safety and comfort is grief. It's all grief. And I think it's safe to say that grief is a good friend of mine, and I don't push grief away, but that doesn't mean that it's not still a lot to like process and absorb. And I am a creature of habit. I have always been. I'm a Virgo. I'm like type A through and through. I like my routines. I like structure. I really thrive in structured environments. But I've realized that a lot of why I thrive in those structured environments is because my nervous system knows how to predict the future. And as much as that's good because I'm comfortable there, I also know that I know the outcome there, and that I don't leave room for opportunities or possibilities when I try to control everything. So it's so hard to like acknowledge how much our mental health, and in the basic form, our nervous system either prevents us from living the life we want, or it propels us to live the life we want. And so I know that my failures and my successes come from my nervous system, and I also know that that's an internal thing. And so because I experienced this side of grief and loss, and it pushed me into a side of life where I had absolutely no comfort. Like there was after Tad died, it was like there was not even a sliver of my life that felt comfortable to me. And so I've been forced to, for the last 3 years, live in discomfort. And I feel like over the last 6 months, like especially when I moved into this new place, I really did it with a lot of intention, that I was moving here to get myself to a safe place. And I kind of think that my nervous system knew I needed this safe place, because I needed to be able to ground myself in order to acknowledge that I want more from life. But you can't really like acknowledge you want more from life until you feel safe and you have safety within yourself. So the fact that I was able to move into this place, decorate it in such a cute little way that was very true and authentic to myself, like it was fun. I got everything secondhand from that I furnished my place with, and I just was really intentional about the type of lifestyle that I wanted to live here, and it did everything that I needed to. And this place has served its purpose tenfold. And as much as I know my nervous system is like, just stay here, it's calm and it's comfortable, and you know, I know the outcome, but I'm now in a place where I heard this saying like a month ago that it said, like, I didn't come this far to come this far. And after struggling that much, like, obviously I am still struggling with Tad's death, but even before I had my son, I struggled with mental health, and I struggled with anxiety and depression, and I had suicidal thoughts even before I had my son. But when I had my son and I lived such a hard life with him, beautiful but hard, and then losing him, it just, to like find the effort and energy to stay here when you don't want to stay here is like really painful. And so I feel myself now that I've gotten myself to this place, and I'm like, you didn't come this far to come this far. Like, I didn't go through all of those really uncomfortable days, like really painful, like hell on earth days, to not allow myself to open myself up for what else is out there. And so I'm like, I didn't come this far to just come this far and just live a normal life. Like, if I defied the odds of like living through all of those really painful things, and I deserve to see how amazing life can get. But it's like funny to say this, because I wouldn't be able to sit here and say I'm gonna sell all my stuff and live on the road because I want life to show me how good it's gonna get. I would never, ever say that. And I feel funny saying it even now, but I would never say that before I went through what I went through with my son. I don't think people need to lose their child to learn the lessons that I've learned. But I will be completely honest that until I had life really shake me, I just didn't have the understanding of these things. Before all of this happened in my life, I was literally jail bound by other people's thoughts. Like, I never did anything unless I knew it was going to be okay with other people, or that they would approve. And as much as we can say like, oh, just don't worry about what other people say, the truth is the reason why that was so embedded into me was because of my childhood, and because of the coping strategies that I developed as a child to be able to survive in situations. And so we are all just toddlers in adult bodies if we don't go back and heal the things that happened to us when we were younger, in more of an unconscious state. And so I think I have a lot of value to add in the aspect of like how I've navigated through these things, and I want to share that. But I'm also aware that even though I'm sitting in the place that I'm at right now, and I'm really grateful for everything that I've learned, and I'm really grateful for the way that I'm able to live my life right now, I also am still able to kind of like take myself back to like different points in my life, like when I had Tad. And when I had Tad, I saw a couple of like close medical moms lose their babies, and to start off with, when I had my son and I used to think about him passing, I just couldn't, like, it was too much for my brain to even like think about. Like, I would just literally, the thought of it would send me into a spiral so fast. And then when I actually saw it happen, like I saw moms lose their babies and I saw them like do things afterwards, I'll be honest, I was very judgmental of them. And I don't say this in a proud way. I'm ashamed, not necessarily ashamed. It's, I'm a human being, and I assumed things and I interpreted things because of how close that situation was to me. And so my brain just kind of like put together pieces of what the information I had, and the thought of living my life without my child was just, I didn't want to think about it. And then when I was forced to think about it by seeing other moms lose their child, I just was, so judgmental. Like, how could they do that? Like, I could never, like, I would just kill myself. And believe me, there were many, many, many days that I really just wanted to kill myself. And, it's like, it's so scary those days. Like, when I say that, like, I literally was like, I knew my options, I started like really planning them out, like I really knew them. And so it's so hard when I try to like think about like how other people are thinking about my story. And that's one really hard thing, is that I've had to really like shut out what other people will interpret about my life, because I know that nobody can really understand this type of life unless that you're living it. And I was even so close to it and tried to interpret it, and I still had absolutely no idea what it was even remotely like. And so, you know, I know that this is maybe not the most like glamorous story, but I do think it has a lot of value in it. And, you know, I also unfortunately know that there's a lot of lost moms that, you know, feel some of the feels that I felt, and if I can help any mom. Okay, it's Thursday now. I feel like the days are just like flying by. Yesterday the bunnies were misbehaving, and then I got distracted because today is midterms and I had to study. And now I just did my morning stuff, and now I'm back at my desk to study a little bit more before I take my test. And I'm starting to feel a little like the funness has worn off and the reality is starting to hit me, and I still feel that I'm doing what is right, but the reality is not as fun as the like idea of something. So having to now like follow through with everything it's intimidating for sure. Today my focus is midterms, so here we go. I feel like I've been sitting at this desk nonstop. It's like my little zone lately, but here we go. Well, it's Friday. I don't even know where the week went. I'm feeling all the feels. I'm starting to get a little stressed out. I go on a little vacation next week, and then I have exactly 3 weeks from today to move out, and like the state of my plants is still the same. Haven't even touched them. I feel like my life is a disaster right now. Like everything is just like, I don't even... I feel stressed out. I feel overwhelmed. And I'm feeling myself want to go into the freeze mode. Like my nervous system just wants to shut down because it's so much. And it's a lot, but I'm doing my best to support myself during this, making sure that I'm eating enough, drinking enough water, staying hydrated. I did start increasing my workout classes every week, so now I'm going to be doing yoga classes. I went from, even like last week, I was doing maybe 3 sessions a week, and now I'm kind of forcing myself to do at least 3 to 4 sessions a week, just to make sure that I have outlets to release all of this pent-up energy, and I have forms of self-care to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, because so I did my class today. I just went and mailed something off that I sold, and so now I'm gonna sit here and work on my plant project. I guess I'm just gonna list them all and see. I don't want to get rid of them. I don't want to get rid of my plants or my, you know, bunnies, even though that they're nutcases. I literally went to the post office and I came home, and look at what she did. She pulled out one of her plants and ate it, so now there's dirt everywhere. So just add to the mess, Misty. No worries, no worries. But I'm slowly but surely making progress. But more than anything, I'm trying to make sure that I'm taking care of myself during this process, so that I can make progress and not self-sabotage and go backwards. So, time to take care of my plants. Okay, today is Saturday, and look at me. Look at me go. These ones I'm going to go sell. I'm making progress. Well, I did it. I sold all of them. So I'm closing out this week, which is my first week. That I sold a little steam cleaner for $15. I sold all my scrubs for $50, and I shipped them. So I ended up getting $70. And then I just sold, I think, 5 plants for $15. So I'm ending my first weeks with a profit of $100. But I mean, not bad. $100 for my travels. So I'm closing out this week's vlog, and I'll see you next week.